Nityanandam, I would like to welcome all our viewers who are watching this video. Today we are going to talk about Yogi Adityanath ji and why it brings smile to our faces. So Yogi Adityanath ji is a Mahant of Mahanirvani Akhada, the same Akhada from where we all come. And it makes us very proud to tell he's the chief minister, he's the newly elected chief minister of Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is the most populated state of India, and he has won the elections with a big majority. And I think he's the first sannyasi to be a chief minister throughout the world. I have not heard another example. So that is the part of the story which makes us really proud. But there's another part of it. Recently, actually just yesterday, somebody uploaded an image, a morphed image. So what they did was they took a pornographic video and they morphed it, trying to project as if it is Yogi Adityanath ji who is in the video. And that is really disturbing. And before we actually talk about what happened, let us allow me to introduce each one of us. My name is Shashank Tulsian. I am a mechanical engineer. I used to work in the defense and aerospace industry. Before meeting my guru Paramahamsa Nityananda Swamiji. Now I am a Hindu activist, and with me is Dr. Chance. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Dr. Deborah Chance, and I have a doctorate in educational administration and research and development, and I specialize in brain research.
And joining us are two sannyasinis of the Nityananda order, Ma Deepikananda Swami and Ma Purnananda Swami. Why don't you introduce yourselves, Ma?
I am Manitya Deepikananda Swami. I am a sannyasi of Nityananda order. I was a software engineer at Chennai and worked at Apollo Institute.
Nityananda, my name is Manitya Purnananda Swami. I am the youngest Purna sannyasi of the Nityananda Sampradaya, and I come from Malaysia.
And one more thing, Ma Purnananda Swami, she was studying psychology, and I think she's planning to do a PhD in Vedic psychology. So we are looking forward to that. So Dr. Chance, why don't you share your views as a Westerner about what happened just yesterday?
See, what I'm seeing is that in my country we had the Federal Communications Commission, which licenses radio stations, TV stations, newspapers to follow a certain code of ethics. What I'm seeing is that there is no such thing existent in India.
Actually there is. It's called BCCC, but I don't think it's that proactive or it has that much power.
So you see, what happens is that we do have yellow journalism in the United States, don't get me wrong, where you walk in a grocery store and there's a magazine called National Enquirer and the headlines say, alien has a baby with human being, right? Which we all know, it's just tongue-in-cheek, it's ludicrous, it's ridiculous. But people buy those magazines and, you know, we talk about it, we laugh about it over the bridge table. But what I see in India is that something like this is on the front page. They'll take a renowned, esteemed author or guru, and then they will paint a picture about how they are doing something sexual or doing something with drugs or with violence, any kind of topic, a hot topic, and then they completely defame these individuals. And in my country, that's absolutely impossible. It's defamation of character. And you can file a lawsuit and get millions of dollars for doing that.
So what I'm really interested in is, Ma Purna, why don't you share with our viewers where else this has happened in the past with the Hindu leaders?
Yes, actually I'm glad that you asked this question because that's what I thought the moment I heard about this image. Like, immediately when I saw that, I was thinking this is what our Swamiji, Paramahamsa Nitya, had gone through in 2010. It was a morphed image with another woman. And then what I thought was, this is not only with 2-3 gurus or Hindu leaders, it is almost every predominant leader, a Hindu leader or Hindu guru in the society. You know, like, and it's not like currently they've been attacking with sexually attacking them, but since the time of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Satya Sai Baba, Ramdev Baba, Kanchi Shankaracharya, so all of them, if you see, they are actually one of the predominant leaders in wherever they are and all over the world. and they are all attacked in the same fashion.
See,
It's,
for example, I will share what happened with Ramakrishna Paramahansa. So somebody came from the West, and he was a Hindu, by the way, shockingly, and he said to the organization that I want to do a biography, or I want to do a PhD, I think.
yes.
It was a PhD. He wanted to do a PhD on his life, on Ramakrishna Paramahansa's life, and he collected every information he could get, ate food in the ashram, everything he did, and he went there and he publishes a book called Kali's Child. And there he's telling that Ramakrishna Paramahansa was a homosexual pedophile. Even to utter this word, so our viewers who don't know what it means is, homosexual is somebody who has sex with the same gender, and a pedophile is somebody who has sex with children. So that kind of an allegation he's putting. And the funny thing is, the Encyclopedia Britannica, isn't it? So the Encyclopedia Britannica is telling that this book is the most authentic description of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. And I can guarantee you, if you go down the streets in Calcutta, where Ramakrishna Paramahansa is celebrated by everybody, in every coffee shop, in every tea shop, you'll find his picture, and every day the tea seller, he would remember him and cherish his teachings, his memories. If you tell him that this is how the West is seeing Ramakrishna Paramahansa, he would not believe you.
Exactly.
We don't know, most of the Indians don't know about it, but that is how we are being projected.
So what we're talking about is misrepresentation, and you have some other ideas on misrepresentation.
Yeah, see, whenever the misrepresentation happens about the Hindu gurus, I looked at some point. It is not only on Hindu gurus, that individual person. It is on Hinduism. It is on religion. Because if you look at like what Purna Swami says, from the time of Ramakrishna, when Ramakrishna mission was raising up, and where they are really doing some service and consciously raising the people and to follow the religion, exactly at that time they are getting attacked. So it was a very planned attack for all the Hindu gurus to destroy Hinduism. And particularly when I look at this post in Facebook, it was so painful part is a lady shared this Facebook.
And what was the name of the lady?
Prabha. A lady. But being a lady, we even feel to talk about this kind of subject in a public or even to our friends. But she is sharing very boldly about a sannyasi onto her Facebook. I just really want to ask her, are you really a family girl? Are you really a family woman?
So she's misrepresenting him. Is she the person that looks like she's involved in some kind of sexual positioning with him?
Yeah.
And she shared that. She
She is sharing that video in the Facebook.
And see, what we're saying is that this is an exploitation of our religion, and that we need to stand up for the representatives of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And we are issuing a call to action for everyone who is willing to stand up and represent your religion, because what we're seeing is that basically there's no voice out there. The people they don't have confidence. The Christians and of course the people, the Muslims, the Southern Baptists, everybody can stand up and take a strong action to represent their religion, but we're not seeing that here in India with Hinduism, which has the capacity to bring the world to the age of enlightenment.
Yeah, I think I would like to add to that. In the sense, I think to make it to a very practical understanding for our viewers, the moment I'm sure all of us have WhatsApp, all of us have access to the internet. We do get shares from on like memes or pictures of Hindu gurus in compromising positions. And tell me, how many of you have actually laughed at it? Or if you did not laugh at it, how many of us looked at it, do not know what to do, because we in our home, in our puja area, we have a guru that we worship. So we do not know what to do, we do not laugh, but we keep quiet, we turn off the phone. I think we should stop doing those.
Actually, you remind me of something. There was a movie where Lord Shiva was projected like a human being running around, and he was being abused. So the rationale and the logic which they are presenting, they are telling God is formless, so I can abuse the form, and all those stupid things they are saying. All right. So I tell to the director of that movie or the actor of that movie, let me make toilet papers with the pictures of your mother and father. And I'll use that toilet paper and I'll have big billboards and advertisements of that toilet paper. Would you not feel offended? I am not abusing your parents, right? I am using the toilet paper. So
No, see, if you see, logically they are right, but the context which they are putting into the public mind is completely wrong.
and see, and also I would like to make our viewers understand it. See, to that director I am telling, to that actor I am sharing with a lot of compassion. See, understand, when you see that toilet paper, you will be reminded of your parents. And when you see your parents, you will be reminded of the toilet paper.
Exactly.
And see, that's a paired stimulus. That's a behavioral psychological technique to terrorize and to create disconsonant and misunderstanding and misrepresent people. And it's a subtle psychological
And
technique.
Deborah, even if they don't really mean it, the problem is when you are going to sit in front of the deities, connecting with Lord Shiva, you are going to get reminded of that movie clip.
Exactly.
And it'll interfere your feeling connection and your devotion, and it'll directly impact your spiritual path.
Your purity in the feeling connection is getting disturbed. Exactly.
And see, as a devotee of Paramahamsa Sri Nityananda, my feeling connection and my ability to take this mission to the world has been poisoned by the misrepresentation and the media that has. I actually was at the front gate and saw them throw beer cans over the front gate and film it and then put it on the news that they found beer cans. I watched them as they did that. In my country, these people would have been put in jail immediately.
And not only that, I'll share something which you might not be aware of. So what happened, these people, they came, they made a big ruckus, they broke the gates, they climbed over the gates, they beated our sannyasis, they were bleeding, and on the news channel, we still have the video, maybe we can find the link and share it in the
Yes.
comments. And in the video, they are claiming that these abusers are actually victims. It's actually they are presenting it in this fashion that they were stopped at the gates. Come on. They-
I'm really wondering this point. Even after going through all this abuse, why our Hindus are not standing up for the religion? If the same case would have happened to some other religion, I am very sure by this time this abuser have gone to jail. But here in our case, our Swamis are going to jail. The people who don't do any mistake, but they have to go through the punishment.
That's the,
And we Hindus are seeing and enjoying.
see, that's exactly the point. The reason and what makes us strong, only that is being attacked. I think we Hindus really need to connect with our gurus, our tradition, the Akhada tradition. By the way, for our viewers to understand what we mean by Akhada, Akhadas are organization. Akhada word as such, the Hindi meaning of that word is a wrestling place. So we wonder sometimes how can a wrestling place be associated with spirituality. So akhadas were places, organization where the monks, especially the Naga sadhus, would group together and make things happen for the dharma. And akhadas have been protecting us for tens of thousands of years.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And I would like to share with everybody, you don't know about this, what used to happen that when the kings used to go on a war against Muslim kings. So, or any invaders, I have nothing against Muslims, I am just telling from what happened in the past as it happened in the past. So when we would be invaded, these Naga sadhus would stand up with the king, and sometimes the Naga sadhus would go on a war completely alone, and the other armies used to be so afraid of them. I'm telling you, our tradition could not have survived if it was not for these Naga
So,
sadhus.
Shashank, what is the answer, and how can we issue a call to action for all of the people who claim themselves to be Hindu to stand up and shine and show who they are and be proud of who we are as a
I
religion?
strongly feel that we should connect back with the Akhada tradition. Like we are the part of Mahanirvani Akhada. Nityananda Dhyana Peetam, Nityananda Sangha is a part of Mahanirvani Akhada. Our Guru Paramahamsa Sri Nityananda Swamiji is the Mahamandaleshwara of Mahanirvani Akhada. So for us, we'll connect to Mahanirvani Akhada, our Guru, our tradition. Likewise, every Hindu No matter he's a Shakta or whichever tradition he's coming from, they should connect to the roots. They should connect to the Akhada tradition and stand up as Hindus.
So if we're speaking into your listening now and you are along the same thought current as we are, and we've encouraged you and we've motivated you to stand up, where do we go from here? Do we want our audience to leave comments, make videos? What's the next
I
step?
really want to share the last thing. Your religion is your mother. When it is being abused, please, your blood should boil to respond immediately.
The Vedic tradition is like a banyan tree, and the roots that come out from it, supporting back the mother root, are the akhadas. We as common Hindu, every one of you who are Hindu, who is watching this video, if you are a Hindu, you understand that this is also your responsibility. You are a hanging root. We can no longer live as a hanging root. Ground yourself back to the akhadas, ground yourself back to the source, and become part as a support to the Vedic tradition. Only then it will stand up. Otherwise,
Only then you will
otherwise
survive.
we will not collapse. The Hindu Vedic tradition itself will not collapse. But when the branch is getting loaded by hanging roots alone, it will collapse. And it will stand by itself, singing its own glory. That's what I would like to share.
That's a very good way of putting it
Actually,
across.
this Swamiji shared in a satsang.
Yeah,
Yes.
I also remember it. That is a really good way of putting it. And it's not only Hindus, Hindu organizations, all of us need to understand that when we are simply hanging from the branches, we are enjoying all the benefits but not taking the responsibility of protecting it. So with this, I would like to end our show, end our video for today. And we would like to request our viewers to comment on what they would like and what we should talk about in our next video.
Your
And
opinions,
Your
your
opinions.
ideas.
And we would like, as Nityananda Sangha, our final statement before closing this video is, we support Adi
Yogi Adityanath.
Yogi Adityanath ji. We support
Let's-
our akhadas, and all Hindus. I think all Hindus. I don't even need to give a call to them. I'm very sure the kind of majority with which he has won. All of us support our gurus. All of us support him. So with this, I would like to thank everybody who came with us in this video. Thank you, Nityanandam.